All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh Bashim El Shai by Hashem Rakar Kadash. That's all praises who the world calls God and Jesus Christ. Their true names in the Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai for his beloved Son. I want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. And I gotta put it in there because I'm always putting it in there these days, man. May the Most High send holy hell on the people that misuse the prophets, cause them hell, and that are against everything that's holy, man. May the Most High send holy hell, starting off with the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the confusion of face, the man first, and then the fucking woman, man. Because all you deserve a gruesome judgment for the wickedness and your attitude towards the faith, towards the men in the faith, and your attitude of how you push your wickedness and your wicked fucking point of views, man. May the Most High send holy hell on you. But I'm gonna get into this lesson, man, because the stuff that's popping off with the U.S. and Turkey, which Turkey is supposed to be a ally of the U.S. because they're part of the European Union. And why is this so important? Is because Turkey ties back to the scriptures, man. Turkey ties back to there we go. Turkey ties back to the scriptures as Togarmah. You know, you got a little biblical map right here. Let's see if I can get this a little better. Pull out this little pen. Now, if you follow the little cursor right there, starting off Russia right here. Follow that cursor. Here's Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Iran, which is Persia. Israel's right here on the cusp, right about there. Now, Turkey is known as Togarmah. Then you got Gog and Magog, which is Russia. Meshach and Tubal, which goes into like some of the European nations. Now, the reason why this area of Turkey is so important, because that is a key access of energy export. And here it is, you have Turkey fulfilling biblical prophecy, because them breaking out of the EU is them shoring up this whole region, going all the way from Kazakhstan, Russia, Iran, which is the Persians, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, the dragons of Arabia, as the scriptures call them. All these nations are going to team up, and even the mother of Babylon the Great, which the scriptures tell you the mother's going to be so confounded, which is talking about Great Britain. Even they're going to sit here and shoot missiles onto the U.S., man. But all these European nations, all these European nations are going to all go against the U.S. at the end of the day. But if you go on a biblical map, let me see if I can get it to, there we go. If you go on a biblical map, it shows you that Togarmah is Turkey. You got Magog, which Gog and Magog, this all used to be basically one whole territory, because a lot of this territory was part of the Soviet Union. So Togarmah, Turkey, is in the spotlight this week with the U.S. Why? They're trying to use it as a cover-up of them arresting a U.S. pastor over there in Turkey, which I don't know why they arrested him. But that's just fueling tensions, because this is really the biggest thing. It says Turkey joining BRICS could be serious shock. Could be serious shock for the U.S. and EU, analyst tells. As Turkey seeks to join the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa Union, RT has talked to an analyst about what the country brings to the table for the world's emerging economies. The economy of Turkey is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, despite the political events of the recent years and its geographical proximity to hotspots in the Middle East, says analyst Vladimir Rodjankovsky from the International Financial Center. See, that's a major land. Turkey is a major land in terms of export and military proliferation, because this is a land where either the EU nations, which are basically all these nations right here, what used to be formerly part of the Soviet Union, they can go right up into the land of Turkey through that whole strait to get to those countries in the Middle East, and Russia can go right up in there as another route. You know. Now it says Turkey is a secular state with a predominantly Muslim population. It stands out favorably against other religious Islamic countries and monarchies in the region. Turkey's extension to the bloc of the countries with the Russia-China victor is a serious shock for Europe and the United States, the analysts added. So now you have one of the allies, you know, of the EU breaking off and going with Russia, China, and Iran, man. So that's big. That's really big. That's really big for them to go on that path, because here it is, when they do these things, the Heavenly Father is going to put it in their spirit to team up with them to bomb this place. And one thing to take a note of is the fact that this whole thing going on with Pastor Burnson, it says, we had patience until yesterday. Erdogan orders U.S. assets freezed amid Pastor Bronson row. It says the Turkish president has ordered a freeze on assets of the U.S. Secretaries of Justice and Interior in a tit-for-tat response to sanctions Washington imposed on Ankara. Turkey's patience is now over, he said. Turkey will freeze assets with the Secretaries of Justice, Department of Justice, and the Interior. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said on Saturday. The announcement comes after Washington slapped its NATO ally with sanctions targeting Turkey's Justice Ministry. Abdulhamit Gül and Turkish Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu over the detention of American pastor Andrew Burnson. You know, which he was probably over there doing some fucking wickedness and he got caught up. And they don't play that shit over there. Turkey still cuts off your fucking hand if you steal, man. It says the latest steps taken by the U.S. is an incident. In the incident of Pastor Bronson is in Izmir was not suitable for the strategic partner. Erdogan vowed, as cited by Hurriyet Daily, the Americans have demonstrated a serious disrespect towards Turkey, and that will not go unpunished. You know? So these things are starting to ramp up. The dissension between Esau's power structure is starting to fall. And, you know, the breaking of the toes, you know. They were all had 1 hour to rule with the beast. You know, they all gave that consent. But now it's starting to all fall apart because, and I found this really interesting, because really the tension isn't over that fucking pastor. It's over the fact that Turkey is buying arms for Russia. And I'm going to pull that video out in a second. It says, this is Ezekiel 27:14, though. And this is something that landmass, that collective right there was always known for. It says, they of the house of Togarmah trade in thy fares with horses and horsemen and mules. Now, if you go into these words, horses, it says swallow swift horses, chariot horses. You know, and what is a chariot horse for? It's for war. It's for battle. It's not something just to prance around and show. And Turkey's been at the forefront of buying all this military equipment, man. All these military advanced items. Now, if you go to that word, horseman, Parash, it says horses, steed, war horse, horsemen. You know, it says a steed as structured out of a vehicle, not single, nor for mounting. Compare also implicitation a driver in a chariot that is collectively cavalry horsemen. So they always dealt in military means, man, because Turkey had to deal with the U.S. to buy F-35 jets, and then Turkey in turn made another deal with Russia to buy its S-400 missile systems. And that's really what this thing is coming down to, because Trump put out that order that he wanted everybody to get at least 3 to 4% that were a part of the EU, 3 to 4% of their gross domestic product in military spending. And really, the U.S. is the biggest exporter of arms in the world. So when they sat here and put that out, and Turkey sitting there doing their part, getting their military spending up, they're fulfilling their part, but the U.S. is getting no money from it, and they're getting no funding from it, and Turkey is going to another country to get more military weapons, which is not funding the U.S. at all. It's not doing anything for them, and that's what the real problem is coming out, man. But this is all biblical prophecy happening. So I'm going to get this video, and then I'm going to go into a few more precepts, and then we'll close it out.
The United States is piling the pressure on Turkey, warning of sanctions if it buys Russian anti-aircraft defense systems. The purchase could also affect U.S. sales of F-35 fighter jets to Ankara. That's according to Washington. The U.S. adds Turkey should be mindful of making strategic concessions to Moscow during Ankara's interventions in Syria. However, NATO appears to take a contrary stance, saying this is a decision for Turkey alone to make. We discussed the issue with the Dean of the Political Sciences faculty at Turkey's Marmara University, Cengiz Tomar. He thinks that Washington's attempts to disrupt a S-400 deal are designed to divide Moscow and Turkey.
Because of Russian and Turkey relationships and better relationships, Americans try to, oppose and try to, take Turkey from out of Russia using economic problems of Turkey, and this should be very difficult for Turkey. I think Americans try to, to take this government from the power in Turkey to make another, government easier to collaborate with United States. I think as far as this government, AKP government is on power, there is no way, to conclude something between United States and Turkey.
That's all I'm going to play on that, man. Brothers can go check out that video, check out these articles. But I'm getting right into these precepts. And Lord willing, this is edifying. This is Ezekiel 38. I think I might start at 1. Yeah, I'll start at 2. Ezekiel 38:2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which, I'll pull up that little map. Gog, which is Russia, the land of Magog, which would have been mostly, this whole land of Magog would have been part of the old Soviet Union. The land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaw, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. Now, this is talking about the military buildup, because that's all happening right now. I'll bring you forth with horses and horsemen, you know, all clothed with buckler and shield. Russia just put out that that it had all these new missile systems, supersonic missile systems. This is all biblical prophecy. And bucklers and shields, one of those bucklers and shields are going to be the personal gear they put on the soldiers, and also these missile defense systems. Now it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, because all these other nations are going to be all these other nations are going to be with Russia. Now it says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with them. Now the house of Togarmah is talking about this landmass right here, Turkey. Togarmah, Gomer, which is France, New Zealand, all these things are this impending military buildup, because all these nations, from Russia to France to the United Kingdom to Turkey, all these nations, including Syria, Iran, which is the Persians, they're all going to have ties with Russia at the end of this deal, man, because they're going to be part of that onslaught, those missiles coming over to Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America. Now it says Togarmah, all of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. It says, verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, because all these smaller nations are being attacked by the U.S. in some form or manner. And now the EU is backing up the U.S. because you saw that happen in that military strike in Syria, when they didn't even know whether or not they had the chemical weapons there. They just bombed the facility that they were going to go check, meaning that they were just trying to cover some shit up, man. Verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely in all of them. It says verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith Yahweh power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall these things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. That evil thought is shooting these missiles over to Babylon the Great. All these countries are going to be in accord when they shoot these missiles, man. They're going to shoot it over to Babylon the Great. And it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, meaning Babylon the Great, the land of all unwalled villages, man, the place of rest. This place is all in decadence. Nobody here cares about anything that's going on globally. It says, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having their bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. So that's really what it is. Every nation is over here prospering, man. Every nation but the nation of Israel. Now, I'm gonna get this because with this with Turkey joining those BRICS nations, this is a big thing, and with the statements that are going out, it's a big thing too, because it's all fulfilling prophecy. This is Obadiah. I'll start at 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh power, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And the Lord's making Esau strong, small among the heathen. If you go to that word, it's H6996. It says, young, small, insignificant, unimportant. Insignificant, young, unimportant. Literally in quantity, size, or number, or figuratively in age of importance. So we're coming into the age where he's no longer a factor, you know? He's no longer a factor. That's why you see all these statements with these other nations saying, like Turkey, saying they're saying we had patience until yesterday, you know? You know, he's telling the U.S. Along with Iran, because Iran was fucking pissed off too, man, with Trump's arrogance and how he approaches things. I'll read verse 3, and I'll jump down some. It says, verse 3 says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? It says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So he's proud, man, and the Lord's going to bring that pride out of you, man. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 6. It says, how are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy. If you read that word confederacy, covenant, alliance, pledge between men, treaty, alliance, league, constitution, ordinance, agreement, pledge, alliance, a friendship of marriage between God and men, alliance, you know. So all the people that you've made these deals for, that shit's turning on its head. Now, if you go to Psalms 83 real quick. Psalms 83, start at 1. It says a song, the songs of Asaph. Keep not thou silent, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden one. So they were all in one consent. They have said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So all that this is a collective attempt to hide the Israelites, man, and all these nations were down for it. Now, verse 5, it says, they have consulted together. They with one consent they are confederate against thee. Now, back in Obadiah, did it not say in verse 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy? Now back in Psalms 83 and 5, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate. You know, covenant, alliance, pledge. It's the same fucking word, man. Means the same thing, against thee. It says, the tabernacle of Edom, in the Ishmaelites, in Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, and to Sisera as to Jabin at the brook of Kashan, you know. So the Lord's going to sit here and require these things from all these nations. So I'll go back to Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy, all these nations that you made this consent with to hide the children of Israel and to cut them off for being a people. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. You know, the men that were at peace with you, all these nations, everybody was making money with the so-called white men. It was all good, but all those men have deceived you, man. Everybody's about to pull away from you and destroy you, man. It says, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound. Net, trap. It's the word for wound is marah. Mazara. I believe that's how you say it. It says net, trap, meaning dubious. It says the sense of turning aside from truth, treachery, that is a plot. So everybody's going to sit here and plot against you, man. That's why it says terror shall take a hold of them on every side. Now, I have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Now, verse 8 says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of Esau, man? So Esau is looking really bad out here, man. And it's all because you came against the men of the Lord. You came against the children of Israel. This is James chapter 5. This is going to be the last precept. Verse 1. This is going a lot longer than I expected. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your misery that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten." So his whole infrastructure is his everything that he's lifted up in this world is moth-eaten and corrupted. Everybody's seeing that this place is decrepit, man, and his ways are decrepit. Your gold and silver is cankered. You know, his financial system, they see that all the debt of this place is just fucking wicked, man, the way they conduct their business, man. That's why everybody's trying to change back to old currencies, gold, you know, food, grain, you know, exchange rates and stuff like that. It says of them, and the rest of them shall be witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it wore fire. Ye have heaped up treasures for the last days. Behold, the hire of the Behold, I also jumped out in 5. It says, "Ye have lived in pleasure on earth, and have been wanton, and ye nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have commended and killed the just, and he doth not resist you," man. So for all these things, the Lord is going to send judgment, man. For all these things, and that's why the alliances are falling apart, and that's why this thing is coming to an end, man. But I want to say double honors to elders and apostles. Peace and mercy to hopeful elect and call Allah. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Shalom.